We have two transits this week that I want to bring to your attention so that you can be on the lookout. And they're both happening on Tuesday/Wednesday. And the Taurus new moon is the main one that I already mentioned, and that is the getting clear and possibly even clearer on what is most important to you, right? And like, I would so strongly urge all of us, myself included, to not take for granted like any kind of little answer that immediately comes to mind. Like, oh, I know this is most important to me. Okay. Okay. But like, this is a meditation to like sit with and work through every layer of your body, mind, and soul to build out this really compelling vision of what is most important to you. Kind of similar to what we were talking about earlier in the conversation of like, do you want a friend? Like, that's very general. Do you want health? That's very general. Do you want a relationship? That's very general. Or do you want like this very specific, crystal clear image of what it is that is most important to you? Because inside of defining the details of what is valuable to you, you'll find how to make it happen. So the more clear you can be about what it is exactly that you want, the details of how to go about building that, right? We're talking about Taurus, like Taurus is the builder. Taurus knows, like, you want to harvest, let's reverse engineer. You got to grow up some plants so that they produce fruit. You've got to, like, if you're going to grow the plants, you better plant the seeds. You better put the fertilizer down before you blah, 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 blah. Like, it's a reverse engineered process from what? From the very detailed, valuable outcome that you're trying to create, and then working your way backwards towards like not only what you need to do, but who you need to be, right? Who is the person that is living that outcome? Like, and I'll give you an example of mine and like wanting this like soulful relationship. To have the relationship I want, the person I need to be is someone who is very open to intimacy. And I have dreams, you could probably call them nightmares, about like being in an intimate setting with another person. And again, my dreams will show it to me, like how many fears I have to that. So it's not just like, oh, I want this thing, bring it to me. I am not yet the person who is ready to receive that into my life. So much of like building the outcome we want is from the inside out, right? Like, who is the person that's living that outcome and becoming that as much as you can, pulling that future self into your now, doing things that help you stretch little by little, meet those edges that produce fear in your body, and work through making that little bit safe. And then tomorrow, go back up to the edge, fear in your body, make it safe. Right. So, like, it is such a process, and Taurus classic, we're not going to rush it. There's no such thing as rushing your harvest. Like, I planted the seed today. Where's my corn? Well, it's a process. Okay. But you're never going to get the harvest if you don't plant the seed, if you don't tend to your crop. So, the part of like, what part do we play in that process? We get to define the outcome that we want, what is most valuable to you. What do you cherish enough to spend your limited time and energy building, right? What is valuable enough that it's worth the daily effort and potential discomfort to continue pushing those edges so that you can get to the outcome that you want? And so, yeah, I think that's like one opportunity with this Taurus new moon. And we think about it's happening at 18 degrees of Taurus. So that means that within the next day or two after the Taurus new moon, the moon is going to move over first Uranus and then Jupiter. So that Taurus new moon is happening like really late on the 7th, depending on where your time zone is. Like, I think it's like 10:30 on the night of the 7th in Central Time. So adjust to your location on the planet. But that whole like middle of the week is really like the moon going over Uranus and then over Jupiter. It's like, get clear. Let it come in. Let yourself just add the details, add the details, add the details, add the details to like what is the outcome that you want. Be as specific as you will let yourself be, and see it as a practice of your worthiness, right? Like watch what comes up for you as you will be so bold as to say, I want this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Are you allowing yourself? Do you feel worthy of asking for all of these things that you're valuing, that you really want? Right? So, like, it's just in the privacy of your journal. So it's, your exercise and you take it as far as you want. But like, I would also just anywhere where you feel like, well, who am I to ask for that? That's an opportunity to sink into your sense of self-worth and like, do you deserve to have what you want? You're here. And so if you can imagine it, if you can dream it, you can have it. You can build it. If this time space, as Abraham Hicks says, if this time space reality will inspire it within you, this time space reality has the wherewithal to deliver it to you. So ask. There is nothing off limits. You can have whatever you will allow yourself to have. And Taurus, that earth, that fixed earth energy, is a lot about what you have, the resources that you have, the deliciousness and the comfort that you have. And every bit of that is a reflection of what you will allow yourself to have. So let this be a stretching of, what are you willing to ask for? What are you willing to point at and say that? I want that, right? And then this Taurus new moon is going to come to fruition 6 months later during Scorpio season, during the Taurus full moon. So like we're really planting some seeds here. And like, what is it that you're going to be able to harvest later on this year? It'll be a factor of the seeds that you're willing to put in the ground today. And it may not be an overnight, like, oh, look, my beanstalk shot up overnight, 1,000 feet. I'm going to climb up there and get my pot of gold. It'll be a process, but that's okay. That's okay. We don't ever get the harvest if we don't plant the seed. So that's number one, the Taurus new moon. Super exciting. And over the course, like the moon will cover those Uranus and Jupiter planets really quickly after the Taurus new moon, within a day or two. The sun will also be making a slower pass over the end of Taurus, where it'll be conjoining Uranus, a few days after. So like late next week, the sun will be conjunct Uranus. And then a few days after that, the sun will be conjunct Jupiter. And behind that, this is a little bit further out, Venus will do the same thing. Venus will go over that Taurus new moon spot, conjunct Uranus, conjunct Jupiter. Another month or two from now, we've got Mars making a pass. Like, this is so supported. So all of the how am I going to get there? How am I going to make it happen? Well, that's not realistic, so I'm not even going to ask for it. Bullshit. Don't get lost in the, I don't know how I'm going to do this, so I'm not even going to plant the seed. Plant the seed. What's the worst that can happen? Let the future you, who you have not become yet, let her figure it out. Okay. You just throw the ball and she's over there. She's going to catch it. But if you don't throw the ball, there's nothing for her to catch. Okay. So use this as an opportunity to practice your boldness, right? In the privacy of your own process, really go for it as far as what you're asking the universe to deliver to you. Because Uranus and Jupiter both being in Taurus for all of this, they both want you to expand. They want you to live in your divine authenticity, the you that you came here to be, the biggest, boldest, most highly connected version of who you came here to be. This process is so supported. So allow yourself to ask. Happening on that same day, Tuesday, we have Mercury making its third pass over Chiron. Okay, so Mercury, the messenger planet, Chiron, the wounded healer. Mercury did its retrograde in Aries, where all of this is playing out. And I have those dates for you. I would recommend a bit of an exercise for anybody who is wanting to really understand like just how fast expansion can happen. Um, Mercury went through Aries and made its first pass over Chiron on March 20th. So jot that date down, March 20th. And then at the very end of Aries, Mercury stationed direct and turned around and went backwards and passed over Chiron for a second time on April 15th. And then Mercury got almost back to where the North Node is, stationed direct, and started moving forward again, and will have its third pass, its final pass for this year on May 7th, the same day as the Taurus new moon. So as you think about this Taurus new moon and what it is that you're willing to ask for, I would also really appreciate it if you would give yourself a giant pat on the back for how much more you're willing to ask for, how much more you're willing to open yourself up to what it is that you truly want, how bold you're willing to be. This Mercury Chiron process that has played out has really highlighted our self-limiting beliefs, the things that were really stuck in our head, that were cutting ourselves off, that were only hurting us. And as we will, be an example of one who asks and one who lets in what it is that we want, we take away nothing from anyone else. If anything, the more we will give to ourselves what it is that we truly desire, Aries being like our raw desire, the more we will live that, the more we are inspiring other people to know that it's possible for them too. So when we play small in our asking and our desires, we do ourselves no favors, and we also deprive the all, right? We are one of the all. The all is a reflection of the individual. We're all part of the same oneness. And when we expand, we are expanding the all. So I know like on this circle and on this channel, there are a lot of people who feel very passionately about improving the world. I myself, all the time, I'm like improving the quality of life for humans on this planet. I care deeply about that. And we cannot do anything for anybody's world except for our own. It's our inner world that is the one that is our responsibility. And the changes that we will allow in our inner world, the bigness, the boldness, the healing medicine that we will give to ourselves will move through our aura and out into every single room we ever stand in, every single Zoom room we ever stand in, every touch point with every other person. There's nothing we can do for anyone that we haven't already done for ourselves. So when you look back to March 20th and the very first time Mercury touched Chiron, think about like that was less than 2 months ago, right? Like how much has shifted in less than 2 months. So when you think about the things that you're asking for on this Taurus new moon, and that's going to come to fruition in 6 months, that's 3 times longer. Like, dude, you could be a totally different person 6 months from now. That's possible. And how do we make it happen? We have a clear destination. Like I said at the beginning, if you get in your car and you type into your GPS, I don't know, you're not leaving your driveway. You're not going anywhere. So set a clear destination of what you want. And then every day, walk out to the edge of what you've created so far. Take one step past it. Feel the fear that that's going to put into your body because our body wants us to stay in our comfort zone. Presence those sensations, make it safe for you in that new edge. Tomorrow, wake up in the morning and do it again. And you do that for half a year, your reality looks way different. Way. Lots of possibility. Taurus is all about the fertile ground that's ready for the seeds for you to plant them. Yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting. Popping in here for a quick word from our sponsor. Who's our sponsor? It's me. It's me. I'm going to take a second and introduce you to my breakthrough life coaching packages. Okay, so these are offered in 4, 8, or 12-week increments and are an opportunity for those who are ready and unable to continue living the life that they've been living so far. They are ready for a shift, ready to leave behind the old way of being and step fully and boldly into the new way of being. Totally understand, not everybody's ready for that, okay? A lot of people want change but aren't ready to leave behind the old way. And if that's you, that's no problem. Everything is happening in divine timing. You are no exception to that. But for those who are ready to take life by the horns and show up in this world as the soul they were born to be, I am ready to hold space for you along that journey. So these are offered in 45-minute weekly sessions. Again, you can do 4 weeks, 8 weeks, or 12 weeks. There's a price break for booking the multiple months at a time. And as you take advantage of these containers, there are extra enhancements available to you. One of those enhancements is that my Sacred Circle community that I host every Saturday that meets on Zoom, that is an opportunity to connect with other spirit-led individuals from around the world, to have open, vulnerable, authentic conversations in a safe place. We do that every Saturday, and you receive free access to that as part of the Breakthrough Life Coaching package that you purchase. Also, you will get a bonus pre-recorded program called the Worthiness Habit, and that comes with 4 sessions designed to be a weekly session, and then 30 days worth of individual daily content to work with and deepen your default sense of worthiness into every cell of your being. So those 2 enhancements automatically come with your life coaching package, regardless of if you do 4, 8, or 12 weeks. And these sessions are done intuitively so that we can meet you where you are. The leading edge of every single person looks different, right? And where you're coming from, what you're wanting to move into, what change specifically that you need to make, that's going to be different for every single person. And so we do this intuitively so that it can be fully customized to where you are. And if you would like to request that we work with your natal chart, your human design chart, or your gene keys chart, that is totally an option that you are able to add on for no extra fee. We can ground your sessions into whichever chart you choose. So maybe you want to spend 8 or 12 weeks going through the individual pieces of those shadows and the patterns that are inside your life. And I am happy to hold space for you as you transform those into the light that is locked away in your beautiful body. I am here to support your transformation in whatever way feels good to you. If you would like more information, the link to check out those sessions, those packages, is in the description box, owningauthenticity.com. You can find all of my offers, including a link to sign up for my newsletter so that you stay in the loop and never miss anything that I'm offering. Thank you so much for being here. I see you in whatever phase of your transformation journey, your owning authenticity journey you are on. And now back to the video. And as I was shuffling, 2 cards popped out together, and this is in the Pocket Animal Spirit by Kim Kranz. They are both air cards, which is interesting, since we have Mercury so active at this time, and they are both side by side in the book. It's like first this card and then this card. So I'm going to start with the one that comes first, and it is the Nightingale. Okay, look at it singing its song, lighten up the darkness. Love that for all of us. Oh, and already I'm loving the description here for summarizing our conversation so well. So the keywords are fearless voice, speech, communication, or song. The song of the nightingale is otherworldly. This simple brown bird, almost unnoticeable among the flashy plumage of other birds, transports its listener to the realm of poetry. Nightingale energy is with us when we write, compose, and especially when we sing. It reminds us that music heals the deepest wounds. This card indicates a need to open up the bridge between the heart and the voice. Is there something you need to say? How long has it been since you sang? Turn it up, write it down, and let it out. When in balance, sings and speaks freely with kindness. When out of balance, shy and a lump in the throat, to bring into balance music. Love that for everything that we talked about today. And I love that this was right there with it. The peacock is the second card. And this is directly, you turn the page in the book, and this is the next one. And it is keywords: inner beauty, compassion, and assimilator of anything. That's really interesting. That was a whole thing from our conversation. Assimilator of anything. The beauty of the peacock is unrivaled. It's easy to think it comes from the plumage, but the secret of the peacock is that the beauty resides within and extends outward indefinitely. This adept creature can assimilate or digest all experiences in life, so it does not harbor resentment, conflict, or past pain within the psyche. The peacock type is extremely rare. Not many of us have reached this advanced level of acceptance of the self and others. When in balance, confident and kind. When out of balance, can't digest situations. To bring into balance, meditation on navel. Interesting.